Hello and thank you so much for joining us on the brand new episode of the program. It's Sport Pizza, where we'll give you the absolute best in the ever-exciting world of sports. My name is Brownson Uwana, and of course I must tell you that the program is well loaded. First of all, happy Eid al-Kabir to all our Muslim friends around the world. We are still in the mood of celebration all the way till the weekend. And I'm sure for all those that have Salah ram or even camel meat to eat, of course we still have some in our fridge. You can send us email. You can email us some. I'll be so glad to get some of those packages. Now, the Nigerian Professional Football League is absolutely buzzing at this time. Now, exciting, good to see that champion has been decided. But of course, there are lots of teams still struggling out for who becomes, who goes to the CAF Champions League, the Confederation Cup, and also, very importantly, the relegation battle. It's funny to see that Kano Pillars, who are former champion of the league, could be playing in the National League next season. It doesn't get exciting than that. And of course, the African Women Championship, the last game of that group phase, we saw the Falcons flying high, of course, giving their opponent 4 unreplied goals. South Africa topping the group. We'll get to that on the course of the show. Now, of course, transfer story is also buzzing, and we'll give you a glimpse of what went down last weekend in the tennis Wimbledon final. But first, let's take a very quick break. When we come back, we serve you all the actions. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now let's give you all the details as it unfolds. Now, Nigerian Professional Football League is absolutely buzzing at this time. Top 4 has been decided, but of course the big battle is who stays top in the league. Is it going to be Kano Pillars, Heartland, Dakada FC? Time will tell. Just one more game to go. I'll be looking at the last fixtures and see the possible chances of survival. Olakunle Philip, my strike partner, joins me at this time. Kunle, good to have the program today.
Yeah, top of the day to you, Brownson. It's always great to be here to talk sports, and happy Eid al-Adha to all our Muslim friends, colleagues and brothers out there. We hope they had a great time, and we also were doing great. Just like you said, we've not been able to see any salami coming from. And just like you said, as far as the Nigerian Professional Football League is concerned, it's really going to go down the wire.
Yes, it's going down the wire indeed. Now, as it stands now, as far as the league is concerned, Rivers United top the table and they've won the league. Plateau United, Remo Stars, and Kwara United makes up the top 4. But most excitingly is what's happening bottom of the league. There are lots of fights going on. Now, the only thing that is sure right now is the fact that MFM will be playing in the lower division next season. Now, who joins them? Kano Pillars, Kunle, for me, very surprised to see them in this position. Heartland of Owerri, used to be one of the top dogs in the league, but now, I don't know what's happening to them. Now, Dakada, for me, not very surprising to see them in the relegation waters, but if you look at these top teams, it looks like Dakada might even survive.
Yeah, it looks like Dakada FC might just be able to escape relegation. Prior to match day 37 of the Nigerian Professional Football League, they had 43 points, they were 19th on the table, and they're going up against the People's Elephant, Enyimba Football Club of Aba, right there at the home ground of Enyimba.
They did impossible.
Yeah, they did impossible, winning by 2-0, and that took them away from that position to the 17th position, though they have their chances of making it still depend on the match
results.
Yeah, match day 38 result, which for me is going to be very, very massive. And for Kano Pillars, I think from the start of the season, it's been looking like Kano Pillars might not just be able to put up that superlative performance that we've always known them to always put up in the Nigerian Professional Football League. They are not just called say Misugida for nothing, but in this campaign, they've been very disappointing. They've been losing some points of that one wouldn't have expected them, and of course, it will be a very disappointing one if we have a team like Kano Pillars being relegated. Let's not also forget Heartland of Owerri. They also have a chance to also pull through in their last game. It's going to be very massive. And one of the games, Brownson, that I'm looking at is the game involving Kano Pillars against Shooting Stars of Ibadan. Shooting Stars in the last few games, they've been churning out good results, and you could see them winning their last game, the match 37 3-2 against Rivers United. And coming up against Kano Pillars in match day 38, Kano Pillars needs the 3 points. Shooting Stars need at least a point to be able to get past Kano Pillars, because just 3 points separates the two teams. Kano Pillars is on -5. Shooting Stars is on -3. So if Kano Pillars are able to score at least 2 goals, they go past Shooting Stars. So I think that match day 38 is going to be full of thrills, it's going to be full of excitement, and the good thing is that all games will be played simultaneously. And
Kulima, for me, I think the most important thing, if I'm LMC at this point, I'll advise that the final game of this season should be played behind closed doors, especially for teams that are seeking to survive. The drop. For instance, Kano Pillars and the Shooting Stars, in my opinion, should be played behind closed doors. Dakar FC Sunshine should be played behind closed doors. Heartland, Kwara United. Now, these 3 teams need to win their games, and hoping that Dakar flops, or Heartland hopes that Kano Pillars flops and Dakar flops, and they come out tops. So it looks like there are lots of intrigues.
I don't want Shooting Stars to be relegated. I don't want them to be relegated. I just hope that things will a lot will happen, because when these things play, it's just like the way we see it pan out in the European teams games, where a team that is supposed to that wants to be relegated. We saw what Everton did the last time out when it was looking like they're going to be relegated. They started turning out wins. Same with Newcastle United. So I think we're going to see a lot of surprising upsets. Surprising results, upset in match day 38 of the Nigerian Professional Football League. I still feel that like I said, it's going to be Atlanta will be relegated, and of course, it's going to be the last thing that will be relegated will be between Kano Pillars and Shooting Stars of Ibadan. All
right, let's see how well that goes. Kano Pillars, for me, I'll be most shocked if they get relegated with a team of their caliber and pedigree. Now let's move away from that and give you news happening in the African Women Cup of Nations currently ongoing. And I must tell you that the group stage has been concluded, and of course the quarterfinal stage is on the way. And let's just run through the teams that came out of those groups. Now in Group A we had Morocco, Senegal surviving, progressing to the next round of the tournament. In Group B we have Zambia, Cameroon. Now of course in Group C we have South Africa, and of course the Super Falcons of Nigeria qualifying. Falcons losing their first game to South African ladies. Went on to win their other 2 games. Now, because of this, the way the game is structured, there were 2 best losers. Now, the 2 best losers, Botswana and Tunisia, made up the top 8 team that will be playing in the quarterfinal. Exciting to see. For me, South Africa, Nigeria qualifying out of that group wasn't a surprise. Even Morocco, Senegal wasn't really a surprise. Zambia, Cameroon wasn't a surprise. But if you look at the fact that Botswana made it through the best losers, tells you that African football is gradually growing. Yeah,
African football is gradually growing, and one of the things that helped them is the regional structure put in place by Motsefe and then the rest of the board. That's the Confederation of African Football, because most of the time now, the games, the qualifiers, it has to be played region by region. So it gives some regions the opportunity to showcase themselves, because I think it's been more of the western parts and the western teams talking about Nigeria and Ghana dominating, and probably I feel that if Ghana hadn't taken the Super Falcons of Nigeria, they would have qualified. And also the Ivorians have been coming up. I think it was the last tournament or the previous one, they came forth, they got to the semi-final. So I think the fact that CAF has reorganized the qualification structure is of a great advantage to some of the regions. So I think for Botswana, they did very well. We saw the way they actually tore Burundi apart in the first game. They had their chances and they converted them, winning by 4-2. And in the next game against Nigeria, they were totally dominated by Nigeria. Although the scoreline of that game, Nigeria winning by 2-0, wasn't a true reflection of the game, because Nigeria dominated. They didn't have much, to do. Even the goalkeeper was on holiday almost all through the game. And the last game against South Africa, the fact that South Africa fielded some of their reserve players in the game, they still went ahead to win. So I think for Botswana, it's a very good one. Because they've been exposed to such. But I think in the Olympics qualifiers for women, they knocked out the Bayana of South Africa. I think that was one of the things that really prompted South Africa to notch up a win in that one. For Tunisia, yes, it's a good one. They didn't do badly. They were still able to qualify despite the fact that they were only able to churn out just 3 points.
Just one win.
Just one win, just like the Botswana did. So it's a good one. We wait to see. And the thing is that the best losers are playing against the top two teams, the teams that turned out 99 points, talking about Morocco and South Africa. So it's going to be a baptism of fire for the two teams. Let's see how they are able to hold their own against the powerhouse. Yes, Morocco are just coming up, but South Africa has been a powerhouse since the inception of the women football in Africa.
Now, Kule, let's look at the regional way of qualification that CAF has introduced. No doubt, just like you said, it has helped us to discover some teams in the tournament. For instance, Botswana and is it Burundi and the likes that we saw in this, that we've seen in this tournament.
Yeah, you saw the captain of Burundi saying the fact that they are playing against Nigeria is a great privilege. Because I think some of them were kids. I don't know if some of them were even born, because the goalkeeper of Burundi was 16. I mean 16, the one that came on when the other goalkeeper was injured. I don't know if some of them had watched players like Florence or Magbemi, players like Patient Avre, and the players of 1991 squad who spearheaded women football in African continents.
Yes, and now if you look at it, most people want to say that, even though, most of these guys are coming up through the ranks because of the regional, structure and arrangement. But do you think we are having the best African teams in this tournament?
Yeah, I think that we are not having the best teams in this tournament. Some of us, it's good. The regional structure has its advantages and disadvantages. And one of the disadvantages is the fact that we don't really get to see the best. If we have, I felt very bad. I felt disappointed because the Black Queens of Ghana are the pride, also a pride of women football in Africa. When you put Nigeria, yes, South Africa, Cameroon has been there from its inception, and also the Black Queens of Ghana has been there. So pitching Nigeria against Ghana in the qualifying phase, for me, leaves much to be desired, because one of the best are going to be knocked out. Who says the Black Queens of Ghana will not beat some of the teams? I am very sure, because I watched the first game and the second game in the qualifying phase. The Ghanaians will won them 2-0 here in Nigeria. The second leg was a very tough one. They almost pulled the chestnut out of the fire. They won by 1 goal to nothing in Ghana. So the aggregate was 2-1. They almost got the second. They missed some chances. So if such a thing is happening, we are having the regional structure. If Ghana plays against Botswana, if Ghana plays against Burundi, what's going to happen? If the Ivorians play against these two teams, what will have happened? We will have gotten to see the best crop of players, best set of players, best team playing in these qualifiers. Like we said, this disadvantage for me is more than the advantages.
Well, that's what it is. CAF feels this is one of the ways to encourage women football. And
it's not only in women football,
regional football, so that some of the countries,
in the under 17, in the under 20.
So the high point would just be that some of these countries that are, not really footballing nation in quotes, can get to have a feel of tournament and see what it feels like. Well, let's see on the long run how well this will help African football, especially as some of these women and underage football is used as qualifiers to World Cups and the likes. But time will tell if that will favor us, but time will not allow us to look at who qualifies or who you think will make it to the final. But Kule,
we're not going to talk about the Falcons.
Oh, okay, all right. In 2 minutes before we take this break, let's look at the Falcons' performance. Now, in the first game, there were lots of disappointment. People came out and lambasted the team, lackluster performance. Second game, they missed a lot of chances. People were not very convinced. Third game, but Falcons overall, how would you rate their performance so far?
Yeah, I'll give them 6/10 for now. 6/10. The first game, like I said, was not what we expected. I don't know. Probably they were a bit scared because the South Africans. One thing I've noticed about the Nigerian national teams right now is the fact that even the Super Eagles of Nigeria, when we played against Ghana, the Ghanaians made all the noises. They made us feel they're going to beat us, and they were able to churn out that result against Nigeria. The same thing South Africa did. It's not as if they got better players. In terms of pedigree, we've have it above them. We've beaten them in about 4 or 5 AFCON finals, and you know we have that bragging right over them. And I felt that this is what the girls, led by Sister Otoshola in the first game, could have taken into the game. But they were a bit jittery, they were nervous for me, which was very disappointing. When we are not Zambia, when we are not Burundi, when we are not Botswana against South Africa, we were nervous, and you saw the way the South Africans were running riots on the Super Falcons. They dictated, they passed the ball. There was a time that they made almost 8, 10, 12 passes, and the Super Falcons were just doing the catch-up, and you know, it was very disappointing. So they got all the backlash. Even you saw what the coach said, that Nigeria is full of negativity, or we have negative vibes and all of that. You don't know. Maybe the coach doesn't know that once Nigeria loses to South Africa, you lose to Ghana, you lose to Cameroon, you lose to South Africa. You get all the lashes.
You know, sometimes these coaches don't understand history,
yeah.
African football history. That's why sometimes when they come to Nigeria, just like when we played the Black Stars of Ghana. That's talking about the male team and all of that. Some people don't understand the
rivalry, the antipathy that exists between us. They don't just understand. Even some of the guys.
Even sometimes even let's forgive these coaches. Even some of these players don't understand.
They don't understand.
If for instance, I start with Shwala, who you think is very experienced, does not understand the rivalry between South Africa, Nigeria, Cameroon in African football.
It was disappointing. It was a very disappointing performance. Yes, we were hard on them. They came back in the second game against.
And I mean, for me, the last game last Sunday was very impressive.
Well, very impressive. They won convincingly by 4 goals to nothing. I felt that I wasn't too impressed. Yes, they have the 3 points, they have the 4 goals advantage, but then when you squander so much chances like that, and let's not forget, we are meeting the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. But it's not that we need to be.
I've seen Cameroon play. I mean, I think if Falcons gets clinical, Cameroon
they're also going to be missing 2 of their midfielders. So they'll be conspicuously missing.
So they've got a chance.
Ajaran Ndoya is also there. Ajaran Ndoya, the young woman for Cameroon, has been there for almost a decade now for the Cameroonian women team. Is always a hard nut to crack.
Let's see how well that goes. Let's take a very quick break. We'll come back. More stories to come. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, looks like the 2022-2023 football season in England or in Europe will be seeing more Nigerian players in England. Now, don't forget, it's no more news that Taiwo Awoniyi has moved to Nottingham Forest, the newly promoted team from the Championship, who will be playing in the English Premier League for the 2022-2023 season. Now, another player has joined the ranks in England, and that's a done deal. Joe Aribo joins Southampton for a fee of £6 million and add-ons that could grow up to £10 million. Kule, it's very exciting. Now, Joe Aribo, very exciting player. When he played that Europa League final, we could see potential. Don't forget, he was a midfielder. He's a midfielder, but played as a striker. As a false nine on that final day. Yeah. And guess what? Delivered with a brilliant goal. Yeah. And we also have a Calvin Bassey, which we are still monitoring, trying to see what might happen. But Joe Aribo, for me, I think coming to England is a very good move for him.
Yeah, a good move for him. And some people have criticized that move because they felt that Rangers are going to be playing in the Champions League, and Southampton will not be competing in any continental championship. But then you can compare the pedigree of the Scottish League with that of the English Premier League. And if he now is gotten the deal, he's going to be playing for Southampton. Let's hope that he puts up good performances in the colours of the Saints. He might be getting picked up by some of those top clubs. He's got that quality. He's got the needed synergy to really flourish with Southampton. I think it's a good move for us. We're going to be able to watch him week in, week out. And it's going to also help his career. It's going to improve a great deal for playing in the English Premier League. So I think for me, is a good one for Nigeria. It's a good one for Aribo.
Now let's look at the fact that more Nigerian players are coming to English Premier League. Why do you think this is happening? It's becoming a home for...
because the dream of every player is to play in the English Premier League. You could see almost at time when he was almost emotional when he was about to sign that deal with Southampton. Nottingham Forest. He said it's the dream come true because it has always been where he wants to be. So everyone wants to come to the league that is very lucrative, a league that is widely reported. When you talk about the best leagues in Europe presently, you mentioned the Spanish La Liga, the English Premier League, and of course the Italian Serie A. Not forgetting the German Bundesliga, but then the English Premier League is always ranked between the first and the third because of the publicity that it tends to always enjoy.
And that's what it is. The publicity is what's really dragging these players. And if you play in the English Premier League, you know what that means, right?
Everyone is watching you.
Now, there's also pressure on Victor Osimhen to make the same move to English Premier League. Now, we've been hearing just about Osimhen, some top club coming in, Napoli saying we're not willing to sell. Do you think Osimhen will move this summer or maybe sometime next season?
Yeah, it's looking absolutely unlikely because I think Napoli, if you watch them, I've been monitoring them for a very long time. There's this way they tend to always play around when they want to probably the player is on a wanted list of some of the clubs, and it's a part and parcel of the team. For Victor Osimhen, they want something big because they know it's got the potential, it's got the quality to deliver wherever it is. So they want something very big.
They want to cash in big time.
They want to cash in big time on Victor Osimhen, and the clubs are really trading the part of caution because they feel that right presently, clubs want to buy players based on their merit, but with the way transfer market is right now, a player will feel is not worth £40,000 might be sold for £80,000. So I think they want something big, and for the clubs that are really interested,
so maybe one more season will do that for Osimhen.
Yeah, I think one more season will do. I think he might not be moving because the way Napoli is playing the game, it looks like they don't want Osimhen to go for the coming season. At least for
one more season.
For one more season.
Yeah. So it's the math is simple. I think it's smart. Put your acts together, play good football for one more season, make more money for us and for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now, Raheem Sterling move to Chelsea. Report has it that is almost 80% done deal as City have agreed a fee in the tune of £47 million for the English international.
Yeah, a very good one. I think I'm really very delighted about that. I'm not a fan of Chelsea, but then the way they're going about it, some players are gone already, but the manner in which they are securing the services of some of these players, I think is a good one. Yes, Raheem Sterling is a top performer any day, anytime, and he's still on top of his game. It was pivotal towards ensuring that the team wins the league the last time out, and going to Chelsea, I think is a very great advantage for Chelsea with the signings and all of that. I think Chelsea, all things being equal, would also be competing for almost all the titles next season.
Ronaldo absent from Manchester United tour. There have been lots of talks that the young man, is he a young man? That the man actually wants to leave Manchester United, and I'm wondering where possibly could he be going to? We also hear that Real Madrid wants to take him back. Yeah,
there's this rumor that the younger sister said he doesn't want to play in the Europa League. He's a man meant for the Champions League. So, that's why I'm telling you. Some coaches, some players don't feel good playing in all those kind of tournaments. That's what the sister said, though it's an unconfirmed report. But then the real news we heard, have it that the guy talking about Cristiano Ronaldo is not happy with the signings, the manner in which Manchester United are going about the signing, and the way the players doesn't seem to respect the club, the record, the antecedent of the club. So I think he's not happy over there, and it looks like you said Real Madrid are also trying to table an offer. I just hope that, I think there's this speculation that Arsenal are also trying to put in something.
Okay, you don't. Somebody
Arsenal's got the money.
However, we also understand that Chelsea are also in a top race to sign Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, I would be very surprised if that deal pulls through. All right, what a program it has been. With that, it's our final whistle on the show today. Now, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms currently displaying on your screen right now. Now, special thanks to all those that have been sending us email. We've been reading your emails and we want to get more of it. So send us an email to the email number on the TV screen right now. My name is Brownson Owana. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the production crew, enjoy the rest of your day.